Alrighty, this is a quick addendum to episode 5, the creature feature featuring the T-Rex. I wanted to demonstrate something really quickly, like how to do this properly. So we have our T-Rex over here, and we have our party spread out over here, and we're going to initiate a fight. I just want to show you guys mechanically how this works properly in Rolemaster Unified on Foundry. Alright, so here we go. First person up. Oh, should probably do that. Yeah, my bad. Okay, so here is a situation. In the prior demonstration, the T-Rex went last. This is not the case this time. So the rogue is right here, and the rogue is probably not happy with his lot in life at this point. So the rogue, we're going to measure how far away this is. It's 40 feet. Okay, so the rogue knows he's in danger. The rogue is going to go for the... He's going to try to get behind this tree right here. That's the smart play, I think, at this point. All right, so phase 1, he moves there. Phase 1, T-Rex. Movements enabled. Zoom in here a little bit so I do this correctly. So he is walking. His base movement rate is 55. And we're doing that. Okay. Now, the warrior monk, he's going to move 5 feet. The ranger is preparing to shoot. The magician is going to prepare a firebolt. Paladin. He's going to move 5 feet that way. In preparation for attacking the T-Rex. Alright, the cleric is going to prepare to cast Prayer or Bless on the paladin. It's 5 plus 5 defensive bonus, just like the last demonstration. And the sorcerer is going to try and, once more, as per the prior demonstration, the sorcerer is going to try and land that mind destruction spell. He's going to go for Minor Pain again. Yeah. Alright, so that's phase 1. Phase 2, the rogue is positioning himself. Again, trying to get away from the T-Rex and behind a tree. The T-Rex is moving again. Warrior Monk is advancing on the T-Rex. The Ranger is probably aiming at this point. Next round we'll be releasing a shot. Mage is speaking mumbo jumbo. Alright, Paladin is going to move to the south while facing the T-Rex. And this is important because he can almost hit the T-Rex. Okay, so when he swings on phase 4, it'll be at negative 50. If he survives the T-Rex. Cleric, preparing that spell. Sorcerer, preparing the spell. Rogue. He's like, F this. He's like 1 away from being behind the tree. Alright. T-Rex can initiate. Let me double check that. Oh, not quite. He goes 5 and is facing that way. And next round we'll be doing its devastating ram, bite, grapple, swallow combo. Hopefully for the T-Rex I can demonstrate it. Hopefully not for the party because that's going to suck for the paladin. Alright, Warrior Monk is moving 5 feet. And the Ranger is going to snap off a shot. So here's the thing. Rangers and range attacks can happen on the 3rd phase if an arrow is loaded. So kind of the Hail Mary here is the Ranger getting a shot off that can somehow disable the dinosaur, the T-Rex, because the next time around the T-Rex will go before the Ranger, before the Paladin, and cause all sorts of fun. So let's see what happens with the Ranger here and their longbow. Ranger hasn't done anything else, so this is a full round shot. It was almost an 89. It's not. This is not going to be good, folks. I mean, it's damage, but it is a glancing blow. Alrighty. Magician is finishing their spell. Paladin. I think he's going to attack next round. Yeah. Cleric. Let's double check. I want to double check something real quickly. Under journal, action phases, go all the way down to the bottom. Load this up real quick. That didn't work. Magic. Cast a spell. Okay, so he can cast a spell. I think he wants to land that spell on the Paladin before the T-Rex gets to him. So let's go with protections. Bless.
Tazul Karian.
Okay. Let's ask him. I don't think the Paladin wants to resist it because, you know, it's an ally spell. So let's just remember he's got +5 defensive bonus. The Sorcerer is going to try and land his thing. That's the Mind Destruction. Minor Pain. He's going to shout. He's doing fast casting. I forgot to do that with the cleric, my bad. And let's see what happens. It's a solid roll. Alright, so this guy right here, he's got to do his resistance roll. Oh, son of a bitch. Alright, I did that part wrong because the Paladin was targeted. But I easily changed it. Oh boy. Okay, so he's not going to suffer that. Alright, Rogue. Dies behind the tree. T-Rex. Okay, here it is, folks. So as the T-Rex, I am targeting the Paladin. And this is the ram, and if I get a crit, bite. And if I get a crit, I'm going to show you the fix to the grapple situation. So, no offense to the Paladin. I hope this works so I can demonstrate it. Alright. 66 is going to get the job done, folks. Okay, so that is 51 to the chest, left side. Force a blow shoves foe over, so the Paladin is now prone and staggered, so he loses like 2 rounds worth of shit. The blow hits subtly, knocking foe back a bit. Okay, so we're gonna, first of all, watch the Paladin's health bar, right? And he's splattered. Now, that is going to trigger the automatic bite as per this creature's particular... Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so the Paladin is dead already, but I'm just going to show you how this works. So 48 GP. That's a G piercing critical. Point goes through shoulder, down into foe's body, only when foe coughs blood. 6 rounds later it dies. Do you know what it hit a lung? So that's a killing blow already. Never mind the fact that the guy's concussive hits are going away. And he's bleeding, and he's bleeding. There's lots of trauma. And there's more damage. So we're going to apply that damage. Okay, now here's how to resolve, to go under the talents. Swallow is resolve a grapple attack against target in addition to the bite attack. At 100% grapple, the victim is forced into the stomach or gullet. Okay, so the trick that I ran into last time is I didn't realize the boy here doesn't have grapple. But what you do is you go unarmed, and you go wrestling, and it's at a ×2, so it's right there. There it is. We gotta change level on this guy real quick. And it's a ×2, which is per conversation with Mr. Bob Morris, the guy who wrote the RMU VTT rules for Foundry, that this is the thing to do. Okay, so keeping in mind Paladin's already dead, right? Our boy here now does a wrestle move with a bunch of bonuses. 50, 60, 70. Yeah, okay, this is just not even fair. Alright, so here's the fun part. Okay, grapple. Grab both of those legs. So I guess the legs are sticking out and everything else is gone. Foe almost evades you, but you grab hold of his thigh. So that's a 75, 80% grapple. So that's what the track right there. The grapple, 75 and 5. So if this totaled 100, there's nothing up here. If this totaled 100, he would have been automatically swallowed. Never mind the fact that he's dead. So, like, just to add insult to injury, T-Rex swallows the now dead Paladin in this scenario. And then the body gets dissolved in the gastric juices of the T-Rex, which means bringing this character back to life going to be very, very tricky. However, that didn't happen. Instead, he's just kind of chomped in half, I'm assuming, at this point. Okay. Now, the Warrior Monk, he can actually punch this guy. So we'll have the Warrior Monk target him, right? And we'll do a strike, and it's -3. So he should roll high. 50's not high. That is a miss. And it's a miss because the Warrior Monk traveled all that distance. Right. Now, the Ranger fired off a round and is now reloading. That's important to note for next round. The Magician is going to try and get his spell off. He did not hurry his spell. Fire Law. Fire Bolt. Let's go. That is a solid hit. 107. Solid check. 60 straight plus some bonuses. 72. Ow. Right leg. Did a little bit of damage. Alright, so Paladin. The mark is defeated. Cleric. Cleric's going to take a 5-foot step. Because Cleric and Warrior Monk are now the tanks. Sorcerer is going to do nothing this round. Rogue. Rogue is going to target and try and flick a dagger at -3. top of the round. My bad. I did that incorrectly, actually. Shit. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick throw. Let me double check. Yeah, he can do that. It's a 1 AP, so this is a 3. Attacker's not in melee. Cover. He's got partial DB. 95. Also a miss because the penalty's got it. Okay, so our T-Rex here cannot do the ram, bite, swallow combo, but he can do a bite, and if he crits, it can trigger a swallow attack. Probably not going to crit on a 7. Jesus Christ. Oh, and... okay, never mind. I keep fucking this up. Okay, so... our boy here turns slightly and is going to prepare to bite the warrior monk. And the warrior monk is going to prepare to fight the dinosaur. Ranger, preparing. Cleric is moving another 5 feet. And preparing. Okay, so the rogue is drawing another dagger, because he threw 1. And in phase 4, he's going to throw a second dagger, and that'll be at like minus 50. T-Rex is preparing. Warrior Monk is preparing to punch. Preparing. Everybody's basically preparing. Oh, except the cleric. Cleric is moving. Preparing. 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 It's preparing. Got one more round of that. Ditto with him. Cleric is going to move right there. Sorcerer. Preparing. Rogue. Okay, so let's do this again. Rogue is... that's its cover, not my cover. Never mind. You know what? He's gonna try called shot. This is stupid. It's not gonna work. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. All right, now the T-Rex. This is where the 4th round full benefit bite, and if there's a crit, it can trigger a swallow. Looks like there's a crit. Oh no. Oh, damn. He has a fatality. Leg punch rips through nerves and blood vessels, blows lethal. His foe dies of shock 6 rounds after the wound occurs. Does 60, 80, 98, and then 102 points of damage. We are going to, once again, massive splatter. We are now going to see the wrestle effect. Oh shit. Okay, so that is not quite 100%, still at 75, but he's also fucking dead, so. Alright, Ranger. You can fire off a round. Probably not at the fucking player character. Tactical onions are getting their butts kicked. 91. Here we go. This will get us on the board. All right. Thrust to knee leaves that joint in a bad way. All right. Finally, T-Rex is suffering. All right, Magician. There you are. Let's do another fire law. Firebolt. Firebolt.
Varinkeshtala.
98. Ooh. Ooh. That is a solid hit. But I mean, look at like how much damage was done to the T-Rex. That's all he's got left. I mean, he's got a lot left. He's still got almost 400 hit points. Jesus. Alright, Cleric is the last tank standing. The Cleric is going to swing his hammer. Having moved a bunch. There you go. Two-handed swing. That is a miss. Sorcerer. And try limb pain. Go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call 1 and 2 the front legs. 3 and 4 will be back legs. All right. Oh damn. Conditions. Alrighty. Gotta figure out how to apply that. Left leg. There we go. That's a little note here. Target cannot walk, must crawl, and puts it right there. It doesn't actually. Okay, cool. Son of a gun. Alright, so that is the end of round 2. So we are 2 rounds in and 2 deaths in. Rogue. He is going to prepare to fire. T-Rex is going to prepare to bite. Ranger is preparing to fire. Mage is preparing to fire. Cleric's preparing to swing his hammer. Sorcerer is preparing to fire. Rogue, same thing. Okay, so we're just going to go through this because everybody's basically getting ready to do the thing. Oh, I do need to go to the Rogue because he gets attacked at this point. I just forgot that. So, Phase 3, Rogue. No called shot this time. Managed to be a crit. For 3 hits. That is not a lot. Alright. The next person will be the Ranger, who is going to try and shoot a dinosaur. Oh, it's almost a double odd. That was so close. That's a solid bit of luck there. Mage, Cleric, Sorcerer, Rogue, T-Rex. Alright. This is where things kind of go south. Alright, so Cleric's fully healed, has full hit points. 34. That's going to trigger a crit. A lot of damage. That's going to trigger an attempted grapple. $150. Alright, so here's how this works. He's 150. That means he's swallowed. So this is our particular target. Now, let me double check my notes real quick. Sing critical for the acid hit. That's what it was. Okay, so this is an acid hit. Let's double check the severity here. Under talents. C tier, tier 1 C acid crit. Oh god. Plus 31. Yeah, he's down. Yeah, see how quickly this can turn? It's that charge, ram, bite, swallow. Well, bite, grapple, swallow. And that bite, grapple, swallow is devastating. Now, at this point in time, it's essentially going to be a TPK. Because our boy the T-Rex here can move twice as fast as the rest of the party. Well, maybe not a TPK if they all split up. If they all run in opposite directions, probably 2 of them can escape. My money is going to be on the Rogue and the Ranger. I think the Sorcerer and the Magician are dead. Alright, so that's what I wanted to show you guys. R.I.P. crew. Oh, other footnote. Even though these guys are lower level than what they should be versus the T-Rex, there are 7 of them. So, like, you should have 4 level 8 to 12 people to face this T-Rex. I have 7 level 6s. Obviously not enough to get the job done. If the T-Rex wins initiative, he can trigger his whole first round attack, which at this level looks like that's a person dead every round. Yeah, that's insane. Holy moly. And that is Dice at the Table's Tactical Onion, episode 5.5, I guess, the T-Rex Addendum. Yeah, I just wanted to add this in so you guys could see it. T-Rex, no magic, just might. It is a terrible lizard indeed. With tiny, tiny hands. Alrighty, guys. See you next time.